Owning a football shirt used to mean one thing, and it was that you actually supported the team. It wasn't a fashion choice, it was an identity, hometown pride, the whole thing. But somewhere along the way, that expectation started to slip, and honestly, I think I'm proof of it too, because I've got shirts in my closet from clubs that I don't even support. So that rule is basically dead now, and I want to show you exactly how it died. Before any of this, a football shirt was as pure as a piece of clothing gets. It was just colors and a crest, nothing else on it. That started changing on two fronts at almost the exact same time. On one side, you had money started to touch the shirt for the first time, because in 1979, Liverpool put a sponsor's name right across the front of their shirt. It was a Japanese electronics brand called Hitachi. And when their fans saw this, they were immediately calling out their club for selling out. But in the end, it worked out financially for them, because just a few years later, you have every major club with a sponsor right on the front. And on the other side, completely separate of that, you had a subculture growing in the UK known as the casuals, who started wearing old football shirts as fashion, mixed in with the rest of their streetwear. And according to the Museum of Youth Culture, that trend started back in the late 70s and early 80s. So you had two different cracks, one from business and one from the streets, both happening at almost the exact same time, both proving the same thing, that a football shirt was more flexible than anyone had realized. And then the 90s happened, and this is where things really leveled up, because you had football kits stop being simple and start being loud. I'm talking about the bold color combinations that we used to see, the oversized fits, designs that just stood out on purpose. And this is when football shirts became genuinely a desirable object for everyone, not just a shirt for the team that you support, because people wanted these jerseys just based off how they looked. And that desire for the object itself is the seed of everything that follows. Real quick, when you're looking to buy authentic football jerseys for a club that you support, or maybe for a team that you don't even support at all, then click the link down below in my description. Browse the shop and get yourself something authentic. Now back to the video. That terrace culture from the 70s and 80s never really disappeared. It just evolved. Today, people call it Blokecore. It's vintage football kits being worn purely on how they look, and has nothing to do with supporting the team. So by the time celebrities showed up in this story, the wall between football and fashion had already been cracking for decades. They didn't start it, they just made it impossible to ignore. Because now you have celebrities like Kim Kardashian, who's been photographed in rare vintage Roma shirts from the late 90s, and then just months earlier in an equally rare PSG shirt. Two completely different clubs, two different countries, no pattern to it at all. And according to a few sources like All Football, nobody could actually figure out which club she actually supports. And when she was seen wearing that Roma shirt, Google searches for the club spiked by over 2 million almost overnight. That's just proof that a football shirt can carry serious culture weight completely detached from what it's supposed to represent. And then you get to the point where there's no doubt left at all. Take Drake, for an instance, who's been photographed over years in Liverpool jerseys, Manchester United, Chelsea, Barcelona, basically every major club you can name. And according to Planet Football, his loyalties are clearly divided, because there aren't any. He's not hiding a secret team. He just wears whatever looks good. Then you have Billie Eilish walking out on the Grammy stage in an oversized football jersey with zero connection to any club whatsoever, designed by a fashion label, not a football brand, worn in front of the biggest audiences in music. That's not Blokecore anymore. It's not even football culture at this point either. That's just a football shirt being treated exactly the same way as any other piece of clothing on a runway. And this isn't just a handful of famous people doing their own thing. This is now a measurable part of the industry itself. According to Technavio, the global football apparel market is projected to grow by $3.66 billion between 2025 and 2029. That's ridiculous. And their own research points directly at what's driving that growth. Rising demand for jerseys tied to popular players, along with a clear trend of brand endorsements and celebrity promotion boosting sales. So when the industry's own numbers point at celebrities as a growth driver, that's not a vibe anymore. That's the market confirming the shift with its own money. Now, none of this comes without a downside. That same Technavio research flags counterfeit products as a real threat to the industry, and that tracks once a shirt becomes a fashion object more than a football object. Fake shirts flood in because the demand stops being about supporting a real club and starts being about just having the look. Because I know in Brazil and Argentina and maybe even in your country that people wear almost any kit that they find, but just as long it's not their team rivals. And that's how I go about wearing football shirts. Because if I'm being honest, I'll throw on a Bayern Munich shirt whenever I want, or a Juventus shirt, or whatever, but you'll never catch me in an Arsenal shirt. So that rule didn't really disappear. It just shrank down to one line. Wear whatever you want, just not the rivals. So that's the actual timeline. Money touched the first shirt back in 1979. Design turned the shirt into something people actually wanted to own. And football culture itself cracked the door open with casuals decades before anyone was famous for it. And then fashion walked straight through that door, using football shirts, but not its meaning, all the way up to the Grammy stage. So celebrities didn't really start this trend of everyone wearing football shirts. They are just the most visible proof it already happened. And that football shirt you have sitting in your own closet from a team that you've never supported, that's the same proof of it all. It's just not standing under a spotlight. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like it and subscribe to the channel. And when you're looking to get yourself an authentic football jersey for the team that you support, or maybe for a club that you don't even support at all, then don't forget to click the link down below in my description and get yourself something authentic. And I'll see you guys in the next video.